So, Neville Hobson here. It's Sunday, January the 23rd, 2011. So, I'm going to talk a bit about what you're seeing on the screen. This laptop, it's upside down, the logo is a Dell laptop. And this is part of a program Dell is running to promote the benefits of this new particular machine, especially in the small to medium business market. I have one to play with for a little bit, and I'm just getting to learn a bit this Sunday morning. So here you see it, usual looking laptop size. Let's have a look at the inside of it. It's already turned on, in fact, so it'll come out of hibernation now. Yep. This machine is called Vostro, and this particular model is the 130. I've got the specs. In a sec, we'll take a look at it. But before we get into the machine, let's have a quick look at the specification that you see when you're staring at the keyboard. Standard keyboard you might expect. It's very similar to exactly what you'd expect on any laptop, and especially one from Dell. Build quality is outstanding. Aluminium body, solid, robust feel to it. Not particularly heavy. This is something that is easy to carry around, doesn't weigh too much, unlike other laptops, some of which can, particularly with large screens. This one's got a 13.3-inch screen, as you can see, widescreen. This is really a delightful build. The keyboard's a pleasure to use. From the little bit I've used it so far, the keyboards I don't get onto well. I've got big fingers, I think, fat thumbs and stuff like that. But so far, this is pretty good. Mouse pad, the usual thing, works just fine. And it doesn't have things like a fingerprint sensor. Some laptops do. I personally find those things really tricky and just don't use them. So they need to be a lot simpler to me. You can see the hardware, Intel Core i5 processor inside, running Windows 7 Professional. And it is, well, a pleasant looking machine. It's a silver top, as you can see. I see they're advertising that Dell's using a red one. That's another option. I think the spec's a bit different on that. It came with this Microsoft Arc Touch mouse. That is a designer item, it seems to me, taking a little bit of getting used to. Very different, but it works. It's not bad. And so, as you can see, it's got one of those nano receivers which is tucked away in a USB port around the back. So I prefer to use a mouse when I don't have to use a trackpad. But the trackpad's pretty good, as you can see. It works just fine. So let's log in, and I'll rather unlock the machine and see what we see on the main screen. So yeah, not very particularly attractive wallpaper, I don't think, not very imaginative. Anyway, that's the Vostro wallpaper. So let's think about the spec of this machine. Hang on a sec, we call it this. That's it. Okay, this is the Dell Support Center system information. And you can see from this that we have the operating system, as noted, Windows 7 Professional 64-bit. The processor, you can see there, 1.33 gigahertz. It's a multi-core, 2 cores in fact, 4 gigs of memory, and of course with Windows it doesn't address all of it, but nevertheless it's a pretty good amount. It has the battery you mentioned. I'm not sure the rated time of the battery, but it's running on mains at the moment. When I was running it on battery earlier, it was showing me 4 hours or so, which I suppose is middle of the road kind of time. I have another Dell laptop, Latitude Z, that gives me 8+ hours, but that does have an extended battery. It has a Seagate hard drive, as you can see, 500 gigs, which is for a business machine is pretty good. I think that this is not a machine where you're going to be doing a lot of, let's say, high definition video editing. It has an integrated graphics card as opposed to a distinct one. I think it's Intel integrated graphics. Good enough, without any question, for running video, doing simple audio video work. But this is not a machine for that kind of high-end editing, different kind of device. A solid business machine. I think this is very good for the kind of business tasks that anyone would be doing, ranging from the simple such as email, document writing, web browsing, all that stuff, watching video, etc. You can also then, as I mentioned, do audio video editing simply. Not many people do that, but mainstay business, perfect. What's it like on the road? Don't know yet. I will find that out in the coming days. I'm going to an event, for instance, in a couple of days' time, where I plan to sit in the audience, type my notes or whatever, using this laptop on battery only, and I'll report on what that's like at some point. Screen resolution is very nice, and it is, as I mentioned, exactly what I would expect to find in a business laptop, and definitely what I would expect at least to find from Dell. The build quality I've mentioned already, but I really am impressed with it. It's very, very nice. So this is a pretty solid laptop, the Dell Vostro 130. Not sure what the pricing is in the UK. It depends on how you configure it, but model prices range from, I think, 370 up to 500 and something. So it's that kind of range, competes with other brands you can think of. But from a business point of view, it's good. There are some deals from Dell with this now, so yeah, it's a good time to be looking at a laptop. If you have this one on your list. I think the spec is pretty good for what this machine can do. So if you are looking for a laptop running Windows 7, this is a good one to consider for business, I reckon. But even as a personal laptop, it's not bad. It is lightweight, as I mentioned. It doesn't strain your hands or arms in holding it. It's not like a netbook, which is a different proposition altogether. Now, the 13-inch screen is not bad at all. But if I was sitting in an office with this all day, I definitely want to plug it into an external monitor for that kind of use. I use a desktop myself as my main machine, and this is the device I would use when on the road. And it is very nice for that, I think. I could imagine this, if the battery life is good, this is going to be a very interesting machine. So I've just given you really a quick look at the hardware and described the specifications of this machine. As you can see, the size there, it's not bad at all. And contrast that with the Dell Latitude Z. Well, it's a different kind of proposition, basically. Anyway, this is about the Dell Vostro 130. Trade secrets, says Dell, and that is part of their campaign. You can find out more information about this on Facebook. Just look for the Dell, the trade secrets hashtag, or indeed search for Dell Vostro trade secrets on Facebook. So, initial impressions: the Dell Vostro 130.